There's a huge shift happening in cybersecurity right now, and it's not what you think. It's not about bigger firewalls or smarter antivirus software. Nope. It's an identity crisis, and it's been quietly building up right under our noses. So, let's get into it.
First, let me ask you something. Just think about your own organization for a second. What do you have more of? Actual human employees, or all the different machines, scripts, and applications that have to talk to each other? Go on, take a guess.
The answer, according to the data, is pretty staggering. It's this: 45 to 1. Yeah, you heard that right. That's the ratio of machine identities to human identities inside a typical company. So for every single employee, there are 45 other things that need credentials to do their job. We have spent decades, literally decades, securing the people, while this massive, sprawling digital ecosystem of non-human stuff has just exploded around us, and every single one of them has a key.
So, how on earth did we get here? To really understand this, we gotta rewind the clock a bit, back to a much simpler time.
Not that long ago, a digital secret was a pretty manageable idea. It was a password to a database, maybe an API key you gave to a partner. It was just one little piece of secret info that lets something get access to something else. Seems simple enough, right?
Well, things got complicated, and I mean fast. We rocketed into this era of explosive growth, and with it came this thing we now call secret sprawl. Think about secret sprawl like this. Imagine leaving thousands of house keys under doormats all across a giant city. Suddenly, your problem isn't just one weak lock on your front door. No, it's this massive, distributed, almost impossible to track collection of risks.
And what's driving this? It's the very technologies that are powering our world today. Moving to the cloud, creating automated software pipelines, the explosion of all those Internet of Things devices, and now, of course, the rise of AI. Every single one of these trends creates a tidal wave of new non-human things, and every single one needs a secret just to function.
Okay, so we've got all these secrets floating around. What's the big deal? Well, this is where it gets scary, because it has completely changed how cyber attacks actually happen.
This quote right here just absolutely nails it. The modern hacker isn't some person in a hoodie trying to smash through a digital wall. More often than not, they're just buying legitimate, stolen credentials, the very secrets we've been talking about, and just walking right in the front door.
A perfect, and honestly a pretty devastating example of this was the Snowflake data breach. The attackers didn't breach Snowflake's main systems. Nope, they used legitimate credentials that were stolen from Snowflake's own customers. And you know why those accounts were so easy to get into? A lot of them didn't have multi-factor authentication because they were service accounts used by applications, not people. Now, if you're thinking, okay, a secret was leaked, we'll just fix it, no big deal, well, check out this number. That's right. A joint report found that a shocking 70% of secrets that were leaked in code were still active and totally usable 2 years later. That means our ability to clean up this mess is failing, badly. The window of exposure isn't hours or days, we're talking years. And the problem is just getting worse thanks to something called shadow AI. Picture this, an employee, let's call her Jane. She's just trying to get her work done faster. She pastes some text into a public AI tool, but hidden deep in that text is an internal API key. She has no idea, but the AI tool's logs, they see it. And just like that, another key is out there, ready to be sold on the dark web. Okay, so it is crystal clear that the old way of doing things is completely broken. The scale is just too big, the risks are way too high. This means we need a fundamental shift in how we think about this. We have to stop trying to manage individual keys and start managing something much bigger. This table really breaks down that whole mindset shift. The old way, secrets management, was all about protecting a thing, a static key, a password. It was decentralized, and all you cared about was storing it securely. The new way, identity management, is about managing an entire entity. It's centralized, it's automated, and it thinks about the whole life cycle of that entity's access. And this is what we're talking about, non-human identity management. I know, it sounds a bit technical, right? But all it really means is treating every application, every script, every little piece of software as its own unique identity with its own life cycle. From the moment it's created, to what it can access, to when its credentials change, all the way to when it's shut down. So how do you actually do this? Well, it all boils down to a few core principles. First, stop using keys that last forever. Instead, create dynamic secrets that pop into existence just in time for a specific task, and then, poof, they're gone. Second, Automate everything. Changing passwords and cutting off access shouldn't be a manual job. Third, live by the rule of zero trust. That means you never, ever trust by default. You are always verifying. And finally, you have to audit everything so you have a clear trail of who or what is accessing your systems at all times.
All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Because securing what we have today is one thing, but we also have to look at what's coming right around the corner.
The next wave is already here. Autonomous AI agents. These aren't just tools we use anymore. These are going to be entities that carry out complex jobs for us across tons of different systems. And to do any of that, guess what they're going to need? Their own identities and their own credentials. So, here's the bottom line. The entire landscape has changed. The old model of just managing secrets is obsolete. The future of security, the real future, is all about managing identity at a scale we have never seen before. Because the very next identity you need to secure, well, it might not be human at all.